Today, I am going to be storytelling a little bit. I want to talk to you about how faith and mindset create abundance. And these are my real life testimonies, okay? So get something warm and cozy to drink and settle in. And I hope that you enjoy this and I hope it encourages you and inspires you. So, what I'm wanting to talk to you about today is something that I have experienced over and over again in my own life. And it's the way that faith and mindset work together to create quantum shifts, big shifts, the kind of abundance that doesn't make logical sense, but feels very divinely orchestrated. So, like I said, I'm telling you real stories from my own life, not theories, of moments where God met me, where my belief changed the situation, where my mindset created an opening for abundance to rush in. And so the first thing that I want to share is a little story about my marriage and the scarcity breakthrough. So there was a season where my marriage and our finances were kind of collapsing at the same time. It was one of the hardest, scariest chapters of my life. And my husband had a very scarcity based mindset back then, constant financial fear, constant stress. And I could really feel it affecting me. Finally, I reached a moment where I said, enough. If we're going to make it through this, I need you to either be positive or say nothing at all. And he agreed. And that decision was rooted in faith and obviously protecting my mindset. And it changed everything. I went all in on imagination and prayer and the belief that God would move if I stayed in alignment. And within months, a completely new opportunity came out of nowhere. And I was earning 5 figures a month again. It wasn't strategy, it wasn't hustle, it was faith meeting mindset. Okay, the second thing, another testimony, the collapse of my highly successful 7-figure coaching business and God's redirection. So when my health coaching business collapsed almost overnight because of external market shifts, different demands in the industry, I remember thinking, okay, God, is this punishment or is this protection? And it felt like I'd kind of been stripped of everything that I had worked so hard to build. But instead of spiraling, I remembered something. If God closes one door, albeit, it really felt violently, he's about to open something bigger. So I anchored my mind. I prayed like it was already done. And I decided, truly, I decided that another opportunity was already on its way. And it was. Within just a few months, I had really moved into a different space in the coaching industry. I stepped into high ticket sales and closing in a way that I never had before. And it wasn't because I forced it. It wasn't because I was rooted in fear. Really, it's because I kept my faith steady and my mindset aligned with abundance. Here's kind of a funny story for you. This is another testimony that comes to mind. So after I sold my wedding planning company, I had this bucket list dream of attending culinary school. And I will share that story another time. There's so many great nuggets that can come from that. But I decided to go to culinary school. And after culinary school, I took a position teaching culinary arts. It was fairly quickly after I graduated culinary school. I was teaching culinary arts at a junior college. And then I was also working at a high school. I had my own classroom at this high school, and then I was overseeing their culinary program and their adult school program. I was thinking I might want to go into teaching in that way. Nope, I love teaching, but in the coaching capacity. But I did this it was a great experience. I did this because I wanted the experience and I wasn't really sure which direction I was going to go, but I needed to do something at the time. So after culinary school, I took that job at the high school, overseeing their culinary and working with high schoolers, and then also overseeing the adult education program. And my classroom was in this old portable classroom. Like, that's where I worked. And for whatever reason, skunks lived underneath it. It was skunk infested. And guys, the smell was unbearable. Some days it would just like hit you the second you walked in. And it was like that sharp, sour smell that makes your eyes water. It was so strong. I mean, it makes me feel like I want to gag right now just even thinking about it. But here's what's wild is during this time, I was really studying mindset work. I was studying Bob Proctor. I was reading Think and Grow Rich. I was really deep in studying my own mindset, because I knew that that was not my final destination. And I wanted to collapse time as quickly as possible to get where I needed to go. And so I decided that it didn't bother me. It didn't. I decided that if I focused on the smell, then it would overwhelm me. But if I chose not to give it any of my mental power, it faded into the background. It was still there, but it faded into the background. And that was one of my first experiences where I thought, okay, hold on. My mind is stronger than my environment. I didn't really have the language for it back then. I wasn't using the word manifestation or assumption or identity or vibration, but I felt it. And it became really a defining pattern throughout my life from that time on, which is I choose the meaning, I choose the state, I choose who I'm being despite circumstances. And so that portable classroom became one of my first real training grounds for the mindset work that I teach today. And I'm so grateful for it. At the time, I wasn't. I am so grateful for it today. So here's a reminder that your environment only has power when you agree with it. Okay, here's another little testimony I want to share. Quantum leaps come from identity, not effort. And when I say quantum leaps, what I mean is, because that might be a newer term for you if you're part of my audience, if you've been following me on Instagram for a while, but moving the needle quickly, that's a quantum leap. So when you are, you have one trajectory and you're going down this path and you make this decision where it no longer feels aligned and you want to change that timeline, if you will, or that trajectory, that story, that narrative, and you do that quickly, and you really quickly step into a new identity, that is a leap. And some people call it a quantum leap. But it comes from identity, not effort. So in every reinvention that I've experienced, so my first business of owning a wedding planning company for a decade, starting a health coaching business, being a high ticket sales closer, top 1% of that industry, now mindset and business coaching, the quantum leap did not happen because of strategy. I've had those reinventions, I've had those iterations, and it didn't happen because of strategy. I didn't have a map. It happened because I made a conscious decision to become the woman who could hold that blessing. So when your identity shifts, things just move. When your mindset aligns with exactly what it is that you're wanting to do, doors just start to open. And when your faith expands, abundance responds. That's why mindset work without faith feels empty. I don't actually believe that you can do mindset work without faith. I feel like faith is such a critical component of mindset work, especially if you are a Christian, if you're a follower of Jesus like I am. Belief and faith always precede miracles. Okay, so something else that I have learned is that God meets you at the level of your belief, not your worry. So when I pray from fear, nothing moves, nothing changes, nothing shifts. And it's okay to feel fearful. I'm not saying that you can't feel fearful. Of course, we're going to at times. But when I pray from the identity of it's already done, when I pray from this place of radical faith that says it's already done, everything moves. So the abundance that I've created in my life has always been the result of two things: a decision in my mind, and then a knowing in my spirit. Okay, so here are 3 takeaways for you today as you're listening to this. Number 1, faith opens the door, but mindset keeps it open. So God can deliver blessings. Obviously, He's God, but your mindset determines whether or not you receive them. The second thing, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. That's the identity. Identity alignment is the secret to abundance. You have to understand how to step into the version of yourself who is abundant. Number 3, every testimony starts with a decision. Decide what you believe. Decide who you are. Decide what's already done in your life. Be rooted in gratitude. What are you thanking God for that hasn't even happened yet? I love to pray in anticipation and expectation. Try that. Write that in your journal. I'm so happy and grateful now that whatever you're praying for has already happened, as if it's already done, which is what amen means. It is already done. If this episode spoke to you and you're ready to deepen your faith and strengthen your mindset and really step into a season of radical abundance, I want you to get in touch with me. Leave a comment here on the video. What are you praying for in advance? How are you wanting to step into abundance? What does that look like for you? Or shoot me a message on Instagram. If you shoot me a message with the word activate, I'm going to know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm going to send you the details for my 12-week coaching program, which is called the Abundance Activation. Okay? It's been great spending time with you. Now, I want you to go and be the woman your future is waiting on. Be blessed.